Not everybody needs to be necessarily a mathematician, but there are certain things that you have to master even to be a semi successful. Doesn't really matter what kind of job you're planning to pursue, whatever the career. Math is going to be around you, and again, you don't have to be a master in everything, but there are certain fundamentals things to kind of have a good understanding of how those things work and how do they apply in real life. It's really important. Yes, you got calculator to add and subtract and all that stuff, but that's fine to use that. There's nothing wrong with it. If you got the resources, why not? But how does it really happen behind the scene? How do you get, when you multiply 5 by 2, how do you get 10? Of course, it's 10, but what's a fundamental behind that? So having learned all those things in early ages, and then applying that to real life, and you probably don't want to do a lot of the math in your head once you get past certain points anyways. You have access to the technology, certainly by all means use it, but make sure that you have that fundamental understanding. It's going to go a long way.
Right. I think that's a very good point, is that, if you let children use the technology too early, the concept gets lost, and all of a sudden it looks like just some magical number that appears. I mean, unfortunately, you can go to just about any fast food restaurant, and the cashier has no idea how the change is made, other than the cash register told them that that's what it was.
Exactly. Funny thing you bring up that example. I just came across that very recently. I was volunteering at the soccer game, and I was in a food stall over there. And nice gal, she was just working with me. She happened to be at a cash register, and somebody gave her a $20 bill, and the total bill was $18.50. And she just punched in $18.50 in the register. So it told her there's no change due. Well, because she, instead of putting $20, she put $18.50. And she just stared at me for a little bit like, what do I do now? I'm like, well, she gave you $20, take $18.50 out, or add 50 cents to $18.50, that will make 19. I told her slowly. Obviously, I didn't want to embarrass her. Yes. I didn't want to embarrass her, obviously. But you're right. I mean, she really struggled because she was just so used to putting the number, whatever the amount they gave, into the cash register, and cash register told her how much change to give back. She really struggled how to figure out of $20 how much to give back, $18.50. So again, if you introduce technology too soon without having that foundational understanding, yes, you will struggle. And what do you do when technology fails in this kind of thing? Now, of course, you could have avoided the transaction, and that's a lot more work. So having some simple understanding certainly helps. Absolutely. You're right. And unfortunately, a lot of us do struggle with very basic math concepts. And again, there's nothing wrong with it, but as much as possible, we don't want to pass a lot of those things on to our children. And there are things you can do, and I highly recommend that we do that before they are off to higher grade levels.